Hello everyone, I am Karuna and I welcome you all to my channel. In my previous two tutorials, I have explained loops, that is, for and while loop, which can be used to repeat a task, and the jump statements like break and continue, which will help you to shift the control to some other part of the program. Now through this tutorial, we will learn about nested loops. A nested loop, in simple words, is a loop inside another loop. Every iteration of the outer loop triggers the inner loop, which is executed till its completion, and then with every iteration of the outer loop, inner loop is repeated until the outer loop finishes all its iterations. Let me show you this structure of nested loops, which will help you to implement nested loops in your programs. First, we write the outer loop, which then consists of inner loop in its body, and then the statements which are written inside the inner loop forms the body of the inner loop. Every iteration of the outer loop will initiate the working of the inner loop, and the statements will be executed according to the number of steps specified for the inner loop. Now, to create nested loops, you can follow these different ways of including a for nested inside a for loop, a while loop nested inside a for loop, a while loop nested inside a while loop, and the last one is a for loop can be nested inside a while loop. To understand the working of nested loops, let's have a look at this example, which starts its iteration from the outer loop and then keeps on executing the inner loop. Every time the outer loop starts with its some value, it starts the processing of the inner loop. Inner loop then executes the statements written inside its body, and once the task is complete for the inner loop, it goes back to the outer loop. If all the iterations of the outer loop are over, then the loop finally gets over and the control shifts to the statements which are written outside the loops. The code here generates a right angle triangle which is consisting a pattern of digits from 1, and the digits keep on increasing according to the number of rows. Let's have a hands-on on different examples which will help you to work with nested loops easily. So let's begin with our first pattern, which involves the use of nested loops. In this pattern, you can see there are 5 rows and every row has 5 columns, which actually contains these stars. So to write the logic for this pattern, I'll start with my for loop with the counter variable as I. This I loop will work for the number of rows in the pattern. So because there are 5 rows, I'll write 1, 6. This will generate numbers from 1 to 5, and then I will write the inner loop with variable as j. Every time this I loop executes, the j loop will run 5 times for one value of I. So the values which will be specified inside the range function for j loop will be 1, 6, so that I get same number of stars in every row, and inside the inner loop I'll write print star. Because in one row all the stars are printed one after the other, so I'll change the value of this end argument, which is /n by default. I will replace it with these single quotes. Once all the stars are printed for a particular row, the next series of stars will be printed in the next line. So for this I am writing an empty print function so that it gives me a gap of one line. Let's execute this code. So you can see every line has 5 stars and there are in total 5 rows. Let's consider this pattern now. In the previous examples, every line had same number of stars, But in this pattern, you can see that every line gets stars according to the line number. So that means first line has 1 star, second line has 2 stars, third line has 3 stars, and so on. So the number of stars are increasing according to the row number. I'll start with my I loop, which is the outer loop. The values for the range function will remain same because I want 5 rows. Now for the inner loop, which is with variable j, I'll start with 1 because in the beginning I want 1 star, but every time these stars increase, they actually get related to the value of I. So for this, I'm going to write here I plus 1. When the value of I is 1, the j loop will get values from 1 to 2. That means 1 for the first time, and this will keep on increasing. And then in the next line, I'll write star, and I will write this for end argument, and this print function left empty for a new line. Now you can see the number of stars have been printed according to the row number. What if I want a pattern of numbers in place of stars? Like if I want 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here also the number of rows are same. So that means I don't need to change my I loop. But for the j loop, which is exactly working according to the number of columns increasing according to the rows, so I'm not going to touch the values for the range function here also. And with just one change in the print function, I can get the number pattern. Let's see how the code works. So you can see instead of star, I've just printed the value of j. J here works like the column number. So in the first line, there is 1 column. In the second line, there are 2 columns, 1 and 2, and so on according to the number of rows. Let's consider this pattern of numbers where the number of columns are increasing with number of rows, just like the previous example. But before we get numbers on the screen, there are few empty places where nothing is printed. These actually contains spaces. So that means before writing the loop for the digits, I'll have to write a statement or a loop for getting these spaces. So first I'll start with the outer loop, which will work for the number of rows. Here I'll write 1, 6. In my examples, I have fixed 5 rows. You can change it according to the value which can be given by the user also. Before writing the j loop for the digits, I'll write a print function here which will print these spaces. So for this, I have written single quotes with a space in between, and I'm going to take the help of the multiplication operator of Python, which can be used with strings and integers, and I'm going to multiply this space character with some number. Now to get those numbers, you first have to observe how spaces are printed. In the first line, there are more spaces, and then in the next line, the spaces are decreasing, and they keep on decreasing as rows are increasing. So I'll have to specify a number which actually keeps on decreasing with number of rows. Now in the first line, according to the numbers that have been displayed, I can see that there are 4 spaces. So I'll write here 5 minus I, 5 because I have 5 rows, and then I will keep on subtracting the value of I from 5. This will print the spaces accordingly, and I'll replace the value of this end argument also. So if I say the value of I is 1 for the first time, 5 minus 1, which is 4. So in the first line, I'll get 4 spaces. Next time when the value of I is 2, 5 minus 2, I'll get 3 spaces. And now I will write the loop for getting these digits. Every line starts with 1. So for the j loop, the start value will be 1. And for the stop value of j, I'll have to observe what is the ending value in every row. If I am in the first row, the last value is 1 on the right hand side. If I am in the second row, then it is 2, and then 3, 4, and 5. So this means this J loop will run till the value of I plus 1. So when the value of I is 1, this range function will generate numbers from 1 to 2. That means 1 for the first time, and this will keep on increasing. And for the J loop, I'll print the value of J and replace the value of end argument, and this print function for a new line. Let's run this code. You can see spaces are not coming in a proper manner because of the width of different digits. So to correct this, I will just add one more space here, and this will resolve the issue. Now you can see numbers are printed in a proper manner. First we get spaces and then digits are printed. So now let's work with a pattern of alphabets. In this pattern, as you can see, the columns in the first line are 5, in the next line they are 4, and the columns keep on decreasing when rows are increasing. I have 5 rows here, and the columns are decreasing one by one, and these columns this time contains alphabets like A, B, C, D, E. So now, before I start writing my for loops, I will first tell you the ASCII codes, as we need to work with the ASCII codes to get these alphabets. For capital A to Z, the ASCII codes are 65 to 90. Small a to Z, the ASCII codes are 97 to 122. Though the digits are not needed here, but I would just tell you that the ASCII codes for digits from 0 to 9 are 48 to 57. Python works on Unicode, but it also includes all the ASCII codes that are available. Now, to write the outer loop for this pattern, I'll start with the counter variable I, and inside the range function, we cannot specify alphabets because this range can accept only integer values in start, stop, and step arguments. So I cannot specify A, E. So for this, I will be using the ASCII codes for all the alphabets mentioned above in the pattern. I have written 69. The logic behind this is, if you look at the first line, it ends at E, then D, then C, B, A. So I can consider them as the row number in the reverse order. That means I have E row first, then D row, C row, B, and then A row. So that's why I have written 69, which is the ASCII code for capital E. The last letter that is printed in the fifth line is capital A. The ASCII code for capital A is 65, but I'll write one extra number so that it is not included in the range. So it is 64. As the ASCII codes are going in decreasing order, so I will write -1 for the step value. Next, I will write the loop for J, which is the inner loop. For the J loop, you need to observe the first character which is printed in each line. It is A, so I will write the ASCII code for capital A. The last letter in each line is coming according to the row number. So when I is 69, which is the ASCII code for capital E, J runs from 65 to 69. So I'll write here I plus 1. So now I'm going to print the value of J, but this J is integer now and I want to get the character. So we will use this CHR function, which will give us the character related to this ASCII code. I will write J here, and just like my previous examples, I'm going to replace the value of end argument, and this one is for the empty line. Let's run this code. You can see the pattern is showing us the alphabets and the number of columns are decreasing one by one. Using this logic, you can work with different examples, like I can write a code for A, B, C, or you can display a pattern like CBA, CB, and then C. So modifying the values in I and J loops, we can generate different patterns. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. The link for the worksheet can be found in the description box. If you have any doubts related to any concept, explained in this tutorial, please feel free to mention in the comment section. If you like the video, please click on the like button, subscribe to my channel and stay tuned for latest updates. Till then, keep working with smile.